how you doing, man?
I'm doing really good, Laura. How are you doing?
I'm great. So you're in California, right?
Yes,
Cool. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
right on. Pittsburgh. I've been there a few times. It's a
Yeah,
hang.
it's an awesome city. We
Yeah.
have rain here. Um, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's sunny out. Um, so yeah, it's about probably
Are you
like
born? Are you born and raised there?
yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah! Is it fucking freezing cold right now?
No, it's like it's in the 60s. So
Oh shit!
yeah.
You guys are warmer than here in L.A.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's been freezing in L.A.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I guess
I don't know what's going on. I guess it's climate change.
yeah, global warming. Damn.
Well, we're gonna be the new East Coast soon enough. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So you recently had your song come out in December. Uh,
Yes,
December was an exciting month for you. You had You Wish come out and you also got married.
I
Congratulations.
know. Put a ring on it. Yeah, no, it was an amazing month. I mean, not only did we have an incredible wedding and I married the love of my life, but we went on a incredible honeymoon in St. Lucia and Mystique Island, which is like Mystique's like a 3 mile long island, super low key, but met a lot of new friends there. And then during the time that we're in paradise, this first song comes out, and it was just a definite new chapter. It was like, here we go, complete new chapter of life has started, and it was really exciting. Still is very exciting, because it's just the beginning. We're just getting the wheels in motion.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you also have your album coming out.
Yeah,
When do you plan on releasing that?
that's a good question. Things are kind of starting to change a little bit as far as releases go. This next release, we're gonna do one more release in February, and then gonna go through different channels. So, um, but I feel like we'll still have a good amount of say in when. But we're gonna be releasing songs and singles every six weeks. You know, um, so maybe summertime is when I'll probably drop the whole record and start doing shows supporting that around that time.
That's awesome. I feel like summertime kind of fits the vibe so
Yeah,
far because it's kind of like, you know, there's a lot of like pop elements in it and it's kind of
yeah,
like funky a little bit.
yeah.
So I absolutely love that. So recently, like this past year, we've been coming out of the pandemic and everything, and you see a lot more people touring. And I know that, you've toured basically since you were like a teenager. So like how did the pandemic like affect your music career?
It completely changed it in a full 180. It was a full 180 experience. I mean, before the pandemic, I was touring with this incredible producer DJ named What's So Not, and I toured the world with him for 2 years, and it was just so many bucket list checks with that with Chris, man. I mean, we headlined like Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo. I mean, it was insane. Life is Beautiful festival. I mean, all of that, and in between, I mean, and he's a hardworking guy. I mean, he just tours, tours, tours. So I was constantly working, and then constantly touring, and then I started a band, my old band Lavara. We were touring, and then we got a record deal, and then we literally mastered the album when in February 2020, which then the whole world shut down. And during that wait time period, I think we all realized just how different we all were as people, and how I guess we just didn't really see eye to eye. And too much downtime. I think the thing about my old band was that we did so well in the motions of things, of when you're like working a lot touring, you realize, oh wow, we do a lot of great stuff together, so that kind of keeps the vibe alive. Then when there's too much downtime and too much time to think, I think it didn't do us any good personally, which then led to the band ending. And And so during the pandemic, I got engaged, and then we got a house, and then they built the studio that I'm in right now. And I started working. I produced 3 songs on Dorothy's latest record, "Gifts from the Holy Ghost," and that kind of took my life in a whole different direction because all of a sudden I put a studio in the house, and then I'm producing. And because what do? You can't. When my main source of income was touring, and that's gone. What do I do? So I just kind of rode that wave, and the wave just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, more work coming in. And I was like, well, this is awesome. And so I really just kind of got sidetracked with that. And then when the band broke up, I wrote and recorded You Wish. And that was the first song that I recorded. I was like, I got to make a record. I want to do a record of my own and work with people that I really, really want to work with, and that I've always wanted to work with. So it was really cool. Also at the same time, because I produced the record, my album myself, is like it was able to be able to like build my craft for myself, but also for other people when I'm working with other people.
Yeah, I definitely hear a lot about how going solo, like with production, um, really just like gives the artist more creative freedom. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I feel that with this song. Like I felt like you went hard on everything. I mean, like there's just like so much going on in it. And I know that you had like a really big team with that.
Mhm.
So like what was it like working with so many like big names in the music industry?
Yeah, I mean this tune was the first thing. But I mean, the people on the record on the album is like Abe Laboriel Jr. on
Mm.
drums on a few tracks. Paul McCartney's drummer. He's played with everybody. That was such an amazing honor to have him on the record. And Josh Paul from Daughtry, he's one of the most badass motherfuckers. Bryce Zoderberg from Lifehouse, Hector Maldonado from Train. But we go and talk about the guys that I kind of had reoccurring on the record was Steve Majora, who's now the keyboard player in Toto. He plays on and does the background vocals and plays on every track because him and I just work so well together. And he was able to be here, and he would stay at the house, and we'd be able to like really work and hone in on the synth building. Because a lot of the guys, it was like I sent them the track, kind of what I was feeling, and then they would send me a bass track or something like that. But with Jake Hayden, who played drums on most of the record, he plays in Dorothy's band. Um, he, I was able to go to his studio, work with him in person, and then I was able to work with Steve Majora. So that was more of like what a making an album process would be like. But other than that, it was very different and out of the box for me because you had to just send things out and then give some notes maybe. But I didn't really have a lot of notes for these guys because they're such badasses. And it was so when they would send me something back, I would just be laughing. I'd just be cackling with what they sent me back. So, and that's what I think was so cool and easy to produce and because I writing the songs myself, producing. When you work with such an amazing group of people and talented people, they bring that extra flavor and those parts and adding some arrangement parts where you're able to listen to the song as a listener instead of the songwriter producer, and you're too married to it. It was a great way of me being able to still hear the song for what it is as a listener. What if I was to hear it, would I be stoked? So it was just an incredible experience. I'm still pinching myself saying to that. And then working with Will Briere, who mixed the record, he's a beast. And John Greenham, who's mastered it. He does all the Billie Eilish albums and K Flay and all those people. I mean, it's been an incredible hang. And so, and it's all real. I think this album is so 100% me. Because like you said, with bands too, it's like, it's such a democracy. So you might have a vision, but you can't really bring out that vision because you have to deal with other people's opinions. Like maybe someone's not feeling a direction you want to go, and you kind of have to, play ball. But with this, it was really cool. I was able to see this vision through and be surprised every step of the way.
That's amazing, and it's almost like you can tell that a lot of, like, love and just effort went into the production process of it, and from what you've been telling me, it seems like you just you worked with family.
Yeah,
Like, they're almost like a part of your family, which is
they are my
good.
family. They're my musical soul brothers, and just soul brothers in general. It was really cool because the band breakup was really tough for me. Um, so I was it was 3 years of really slumming it and working hard, and for that to be all kind of taken away and not really having much of a say about it, you I had such an overwhelming amount of support, which then really changed my view of everything. And Dave Stroud, who's an incredible vocal coach, really brought me out of my shell. He called me saying, "Man, you got it. You don't need anybody," and that meant the world to me. So it was just, uh, I don't know. It was there was so much support. So all these amazing musician friends of mine said, "Hey, man, what are you doing? I'm in. Like, let me know. Let me know what you want to do." And that was like what lifted me out of a serious funk. And then all of these songs are literally like a diary for me for the past year and a half, because I started making the record a year and a half ago.
That's great. So going back to, like, the summer vibes, do you like performing, like, music festivals? Like, do you see yourself trying to, like, get onto, like, more music festivals and, you know, touring?
1,000,000%. The thing is nowadays of coming back for the pandemic, everything's so different, touring so different. The production life is really good. I'm getting a lot of work on that side of things. And you know, I just want to be able to build this and up enough for me to be able to make it happen. I mean, it's just so expensive, and for the guys that I want to play with me, it's really expensive. It's just I don't want to settle for a band, just like I wouldn't settle for a relationship or settle for anything. It's you want to be playing with the people you want to be playing with. So um, I know though by summertime when we're really building this up, I feel we'll be in a nice place to maybe do something in the fall, like an actual tour in the fall, um, and just kind of ride the wave and you know do as much building as we can in the meantime.
That's
But
great.
yes, I can't wait to play festivals again. Can't wait to do all that stuff. And I know with what this album is, and the energy of this record, it's good. It's meant to be live. It's meant to bring it to the audience live. It's not meant to be just a recording. I mean, there's horn sections, there's everything. I mean, I want to really build to the point where I can actually have a horn section with me. But the reality of things is probably I'll be playing to a lot, a lot of tracks in the beginning, and then the more we do it, I'll be able to bring some extra cats out.
Yeah. Yeah, the music industry is like it's so cutthroat, and it's like it's really going back to your band breaking up. It's really frustrating when you work so hard on something and then it all falls apart. But, when you're in this industry, like, it's good to have the mindset of like, you got to get back up and keep creating your art, and it's good to have a support system, and, you know, and it's
What's really is my next release. I'm kind of just putting out some songs that are kind of the building blocks of you know what I want, what maybe the more radio esque. I mean, I don't know what radio is anymore, but those singles off the record
yeah.
are going to be dropped. After this next release, it's the next tune that I think we've agreed on with the man with I've agreed on with my management is a song called "It's Time," and it is the album opener, and it's what you're saying. It's time to fucking pick yourself up. It's time to stop fucking overthinking things. It's time to make that next chapter happen. Um and it's the lyrics are really like they're great because it's me, like the lyrics are literally me battling with myself, but then realizing that there's only one life to live and you don't have another life. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to be like, woe is me? What am I, I'm just going to give up? No, fuck that. I'm going to pick myself up. And what I think maybe people are thinking are definitely not what they're thinking. That's with anybody, what goes on in your mind, you're your own worst enemy, you're going to just drive yourself mad. But once you realize, fuck, man, what am I tripping about?
Yeah.
Everything's so fragile. I'm going to fucking do it, man. And it's time to make it happen. And that's what the next release is. And I felt that it's such a strong album opener because it was me coming to terms with what I'm going to do and what's next and what my goal is. And then, from there, that's when, we'll get into the more single-esque tracks. But I still, every tune I did on this record, I'm super proud of and I believe in 100%. But I just know that, when you play it for people, certain people are like, oh, that's like a super radio, I don't know anymore. I just like to make music that
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Yeah, that's great. Um, so you already answered this in a way, but so did you know that like what after your band broke up, like it was finally like it was finally time for you to do your solo work? Because after all these years, like you've worked with other people and you're producing for other people, but like when did it finally hit you like I need to start making my own music?
That literally, I probably think 2 weeks after the band breakup, you know, I talked to a few people that I very much admire in the biz, and they were kind of honest with me about the old band and just basically saying, hey, the interest is with who I'm talking to on the phone. So whatever you got going on, all ears and ready to help. So when I realized that, wait a second, people are into what I have to say and what I have to do, um, that was a driving point too. That was like, wow, I have a lot of people on my side that believe in me, and I believe in myself. And Dave Stroud really, my vocal coach, really brought me into that zone. He actually married Maddie and I too. Um, he's such a deep spiritual, like, just, he's not that spiritual, but he comes across as very spiritual, very deep, uh, like just will have a Dr. Phil moment with me that just all of a sudden takes me into a whole other place. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Okay. Well, I'm now, I'm a born again, lead singer, So he really brought me into that place. So, I took the seat, I took the job for myself, and I just had such an incredible, and I still have an incredible support system of people that believe in what I'm doing. And no matter what, people will connect. People dislike it. People will love it. It's just one thing I know is when I put it out there, it's like, this is me. There's not me trying to be anything or trying to go for a sound or trying to be something that I'm not. This is 1,000,000% honest. And I feel that people are, do pay attention or connect to artists that tend to go that route instead of saying, I want to make another kind of this song or that song. And that's great when I'm working with other people that have a sound. And I love to work. That's another fun part of producing is you get to go into someone else's world and kind of become a chameleon in that world. Um, but for my record, I said, no holds barred. That's why I love bringing the people that I brought in, because I said, do you play what you would want to play? I'm not going to tell you too much. I just, and I feel like it was a big gumbo, a tasty gumbo of love.
That's great. Yeah, when I was listening to the song, I picked on like a couple different messages. Like, I think like definitely like it's actually really funny that you said this is me because like I when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, this is basically him saying like this is him. Like so, I really gather that in the song. But then I also gather kind of like a sad element where it's like, oh, like some people are very unhappy and they actually do wish that they want to be something that they're not. And then there's also like spiritual elements where you say everything happens for a reason. So I really love that you can like dissect and very much like probably interpret this song in many different ways.
I love hearing you say that. It's so great to hear your feelings when you listen to the lyrics, because yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of pain, but there's a lot of self-discovery, a lot of self-love, um, a lot of anger, and you know, but wrapped in a fun sounding overall tone. Like the
Mhm.
music's so fun, so it's like a party, but there's a lot of angst and a lot of emotion, a lot of sadness, anger. But there is that dig me factor in it that's very tongue in cheek. Um, it's people that kind of get in their own way. People that look at you and resent you, and maybe but that's their own issue. It's not your problem. It's what they're going through, and they can put it on you and make it seem like you're oh, you're this terrible person. But at the end of the day, they're suffering inside, and
Mm.
that is the whole tongue in cheek of the "you can't be me, but I know you wish" is like the resentment people could feel, and it's not literal. It's not like, oh, you want to be me. No,
Yeah.
it's wow, like that it's just like the set free thing, like just kind of let go of the bullshit, or you're gonna be because you can't be me kind of crap, it's very high school is what it is,
Yeah.
but everyone can relate to that because people they get backstabbed, or they get bullied, or they get fucked with, and like, what's wrong? What did I fucking do? And you realize it's not about you. It's about what those people are going. They're in a lot of pain. It's not who you are as a person. So it's like, let's write about that.
Yeah. That's great. Um, I also notice a lot of modern elements. So like what recent like who what like modern day singer, I guess you can say, like pop, rock, R&B, or like anyone in the music industry like today, like who do you find yourself like listening to the most?
Man, there's a lot of great artists out there that I really, really dig. Um, Modern bands. Well, I just went and saw my buddy Eli's band, Walk the Moon.
Oh wow. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
great.
and they're Pittsburgh, aren't they? Wait, no, they're Ohio. What am I talking about? Sorry. Um, but uh, yeah, I just went and saw them in LA, and I told Eli, I was like, man, we got to work together, man. So we're trying to make that happen because I just think their show was unbelievable. What I love about them, one, they're just great songwriters and great band that they're been together for a long time, and but their connection with their audience was something else. Like seeing how they are with their fans, it's really special, and that's why they still have a career of being a band for as long as they have. Is they continue to write great stuff. They're great people, and they have a real strong um, connection with their audience. So I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I love the band. I love that one, the Try Hard record, I think it's called, with the band Camino. I love that band. And there's a Betcha, which is a cool band out of I've heard their album, which was great. See, I love the alternative sounding records. Like I love poppy alternative rock bands, where there's the
That's,
alternative pop production on a band, you
mhm.
know, and great songs. It's all about the song.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean those bands are just kind of what I'm saying, but I always listen to playlists. I go on playlists and I listen to what's happening, as a producer ear of sonically, even though it's so all over the map now. It's so funny. Like there used to be like, oh, what's sonically correct for 2023, but then you hear so many different productions, and some sound they're like some really cool stuff is like sounds like they put one microphone up in a garage and
Yeah.
like that's it, and then people love it. Or there's the super polished stuff, or there's the grungier stuff. But I'm a sucker for like you know the 80s modern vibes. I mean, I just love Peter Gabriel. um I just love a lot of harmonies, man, and just guitar solos, and bringing guitar solos into pop music, poppier songs again. I'm just a pop tart. I love hooks, you know so
Yeah.
it's just I so I try to discover new bands all the time, and just just I love when I get to be when I feel something, you know, when I feel something from artists. It's just very hard now. It's very hard in the scene to to make a name for yourself because it's just a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, because you would honestly think that it would be easier with social media, but, it's actually it's really it's really not. It's, because there's so many people doing it, you know?
Yeah, and it's just yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and the whole TikTok thing is you know it's a double edged sword because I think that it's really cool that people that don't have the luxury of being able to become you know be in a maybe music town or something where you can get discovered, that people that kind of are in the middle of nowhere can have a cell phone and put something on a platform and then all of a sudden be discovered. That's great. That's the good part about it all. I think the bad part about it all is it kind of took away the important thing is the A&R aspect of finding an artist or a band that you believe in and really believe and really like, you know, putting something behind that. Maybe seeing them at a club playing in front of 10 people and thinking, you know what, this band's so great. I'll sign this band because I believe they'll sell at arenas in 2 years from now. And a lot of the bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or as a lot of the bands have been around for 20 plus years, that's how they were discovered.
Yeah.
So that element of like really having to slum it and know what it's like to do the van tours or do like just play 100 shows or 200 shows, you know, I feel it could be very weird for a person to get like viral all of a sudden, get a major label record deal on a or a singles deal off of one song that goes viral on TikTok. And then what? How do you really own that? You
Mhm.
know, how do you go and play all of a sudden in front of a bunch of people that maybe you don't have experience to do that? It,
Yeah.
it's all data, and I feel data is just soulless. There's so many great artists that I know personally that deserve a shot. That you know, they put some up on TikTok and it's not getting the numbers that it should get, but someone you know drinking their piss is getting a you know 5 million. So it's just there are no rules with the platform.
Yeah.
Um, but I just do still believe though, if you keep fucking saying, you know what, it's gonna happen no matter what. You keep just pushing, 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 believe in yourself and don't let just be static. Don't listen to anything else other than what you're feeling here. I believe it'll all come around for everybody, you know?
Yeah. I think that is just a great message for your fans and for, like, other people in the industry, for, journalists, for models, for anybody who wants to, like, really go after any type of passion.
Yeah, and it's not just for music, it's for anything.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
a lot of people are throwing off or listen to someone else, you know, I don't it baffles me how people could speak for other people of what they should do with their life when they don't live in it, you know. uh, I've been blessed enough to have people to believe in me and want me to do what I'm doing, but there's so many people that are being told and people trying to throw them off of their calling, you know,
yeah,
because it might not be what they think should happen. But once again, we're going back to people that have their own problems. Maybe they didn't do what they wanted to do, and they want other people to have to live that life too. So, you know, um, I always stick to, once again, one life to live. I believe in reincarnation stuff, but I'm not going to remember this. You know, my next life, I will remember me. So, how about we, how about we just do what the fuck we want to do and what you believe in? Because you know, I don't know why I could write songs. I don't know why I could play guitar. People would say it's genetics because of my pop or whatever, but it's not true. I know so many great kids of incredible musicians and writers that are terrible or they have no interest in it. So it's not genetics. That's such a cop out thing. I feel that everyone's a rock star in their own right. And there's a reason why this world keeps turning and why there's always someone that if something's going bad or you need something, oh my God, I need surgery. Well, there's someone that fucking could do surgery, or I need my fucking pipes burst in the house. There's someone that fucking knows how to do that like a motherfucker and loves to do it. You know, everyone has this calling, and you always ask this. I always like to ask the stories of how they got into any biz. And there's always some kind of calling in their life at one point when they were younger, or they saw that they experienced family, or they some kind of event in their life, or they were naturally great at doing it. When you see people that can paint and do incredible paintings,
Yeah.
like naturally from nowhere, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. So it looks like we are out of time.
All right.
But it was wonderful talking with you today.
Thank
Um,
you. You were
and
amazing. Thank you for the cool questions and all the groovy stuff.
of course, and I'm excited to see more music from you. And if you go on tour next fall, and you know, us over at Banded will be over here supporting you.
Yeah, and I produced Andrew Hagar too, which you guys have been really good to him.
Oh
From what
yeah, yeah.
I produced his album, and I know he's releasing a song next week, next Friday.
Mm.
And one of the we made a killer record, man. I'm really proud of the record we made together. And yeah, he's releasing 2 songs off of that. We made that record like a year and a half ago as well, so
Oh wow.
it's good that it's
Yeah.
finally coming out. I was producing his album when the band broke up. Like, he was there, he was staying here at the house while that all that went down. And
Yeah.
yeah, he was the beginning process of the angst of all of that. But the songs are great. And yeah, so you guys are amazing. And Laura, you've been a groove, so thank you so much for your support. It means the world.
Yeah, of course.